Fim da sessão. P5. Saída liberada, fica atento à linha branca. Temos 7 minutos para fazer o que precisa. Freios frios, atenção. Pneus frios nas 4 rodas. Dá pra polir, esquece isso. Tem carro saindo dos pits. Minutos, reta final. Setor 2 está 3,9 segundos, fora do ritmo. Você saiu dos limites da pista aí. Setor 3 é 0,48, fora do ritmo. dentro do setor 1, tá bom? P7. P2. Dois minutos restantes. Setor 1 tá rápido. Setor 2 está de boa. Entendido. Pit stop solicitado. P3. Disco de pit pronta. Fim da sessão. P3.
Teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start. Formation lap has started.
Bora pra corrida, vamos ver se ninguém mata a gente, né?
Green flag.
Vai.
Green flag.
Bandeira amarela. Foi só um arranhãozinho, pode ignorar. Setor 1 tá de boa. Você está buscando P2, a diferença é de 0,40. Amarelo no setor 2. Bandeira verde no setor 2. Acabou setor 1 tá rápido. A diferença para trás agora é de 0,42. O líder acabou de virar 1,32,73. Tempo de volta do carro à frente foi 1,32,71. Nova melhor volta para Rafael. 1,32,58. Bandeira amarela no setor 3. Melhor volta para Rafael. 1,32,29. A diferença para P4 atrás agora é de 1,1. Tempo do setor 2 tá bom. Limite de pista. Fica de olho nessas coisas. Nova melhor volta para Mohamed. 1,32,29. Nova melhor volta para Rafael. 1,32,21. Distância para P2. Na frente agora, 2,4 segundos. setor 2 está 0,40, fora do ritmo. Recebemos aviso de 4 minutos. Melhor volta para Mohammed em 32,18. Estamos vendo que Florian bateu feio. Setor 1 liderado. Está chegando, a diferença agora é de 1,6 segundos. Setor 3 é 0,5, fora do ritmo. Nova melhor volta para Rafael, com 31,88. P3. Pelo jeito, Cat saiu da pista. Bandeira verde no setor 3. A diferença para Rafael atrás agora é de 0,45. Ignora esse filho da puta no retrovisor. Segura tua linha e capricha nas saídas. Você está 2 décimos fora do ritmo no setor 1. Setor 2 amarelo. Carroceria está bem ruim, talvez precise conserto. Ok. Pit stop solicitado. Bandeira verde no setor 2.
Ai, ai.
Equipe de pit pronta. Bandeira amarela no setor 1. Entra no box. 3, 2, 1. Entre no box agora.
É, pra lascar, já tem meia dúzia de carro. Os caras fazem isso, entendeu? Olha. Ai, ai. Deu o cu do barão.
Saída dos boxes liberada. Bandeira verde no setor 1, setor 2 amarelo. Aparentemente, Mariano acabou batendo. Vamos esquentar esses freios. Bandeira verde no setor 2. Pneus frios. Atenção, Mariano acabou de abandonar.
E eu tava pensando em deixar o cara passar. Devia ter deixado o cara passar.
P8.
Pra que o cara me faz aquilo naquela curva? Não tem um fazendo freia antes, porra. Tá atrás, caralho. Freia antes. Merda. Estragou toda a corrida do cara.
Direção avisou. Fica na linha. Isso foi um 33,22. Setor 2 está 0,37, fora do ritmo. Setor 2 está 1,1, fora do ritmo.
A melhor é meu pro setor 2, né? O cara que me tirou da corrida saiu da corrida, Zé Maraná.
8º lugar. Passamos da metade, foca aí. Aquele tempo de volta foi 1:34,16. Setor 2 está 1,2 segundos fora do ritmo. Bandeira amarela no setor 3. Temperatura do ar e da pista subindo. A temperatura do ar está em 29. A temperatura da pista agora está em 29 graus. Setor 2 está 1.1 fora do ritmo. Setor 1 está 0.38 fora do ritmo. Em 34.80. Setor 3 liberado. Vendo que Antoine rodou. Setor 2 está 1.1 fora do ritmo. Carro à frente está parando. Setor 3 é 0,33, fora do ritmo. Cortou a pista, tenta errar menos aí. Bandeira amarela. Tô vendo que Cass bateu forte. Bandeira verde no setor 2. Setor 2 amarelo, 7ª posição. Estamos vendo que Cass rodou. Bandeira verde no setor 2. Faltam 20 minutos, bora. Bandeira amarela no setor 3. Bandeira verde no setor 3.
Pneu.
Cass, entrando nos boxes, está em P8. Acho que ele vai estar colado na frente quando sair. Cass, carro atrás está parando. Setor 1 está 0,37, fora do ritmo. O líder, Mohamed, está parando. Salah está agora na liderança. Setor 2 está 0,9, fora do ritmo. Setor 1 amarelo, bandeira amarela no setor 3. Tem carro saindo dos boxes. Setor 3. 0,30, fora do ritmo. Você está 1/10 abaixo no setor 1.
Eu ficar travando o P2 para correr o risco dele bater em mim, né? Deixa o P2 passar.
P6. Minutos restantes. Setor 2 amarelo. Setor 3 é 0,48, fora do ritmo. Carro atrás está parando agora. Está parando da posição 8. Acho que ele vai sair bem próximo da frente. Bandeira verde no setor 1, bandeira verde no setor 3. P6. Setor 3, 0,50, fora do ritmo. Fica calmo e faz tudo suave. 10 minutos para o final. Cat, está parando da posição 8. Acho que ele vai sair logo atrás de você. O líder acabou de virar um 31,88. A distância para P3 atrás agora é de 4,9, uma volta na frente. O próximo carro é 5 voltas atrás. Bandeira azul. Segue acelerando. 5 para fechar. Foco total. Achamos que Cat acabou batendo. Bandeira verde no setor 2. Só mais 2 minutos. Bandeira amarela. E parece que Cat bateu feio.
A Cat aí também, olha. Tá longe.
Bandeira verde no setor 2. Bandeira amarela no setor 3. Bandeira verde no setor 3. setor 3, bandeira amarela. Bandeira verde no setor 3. Última volta, seu tempo da última volta foi 1:34.61. Sexto lugar, entendido. Pit stop solicitado. Equipe de pit pronta.
Esse aí, cara, avacalhou com a minha corrida. Podia ter pego um pódio. Ó, pelo menos já não tô mais perigosão. Já subi para o driver. Menos mal.
to start the season. On the right of your picture, the 51 Ferrari from pole position. On the left-hand side, Brendan Hartley with more white on the car, the Toyota. And already under pressure down the inside, Miguel Molina looking for second place. Started on soft tyres, and that's why they started in on soft tyres, to get that Ferrari 1-2. Peugeot in fourth. And, another very quick start from the second Peugeot, moving ahead of the Aston Martins. And the 20 BMW getting ahead of 83 and 15 dropping back on board with the 83 Ferrari. Phil Hanson, he's lost a spot. Looked like a clean start in LMGT3. Garage 59 McLaren still the leader after the first couple of corners. But Anthony Davidson, Ferrari did what they wanted to do, getting those red cars 1-2.
Absolutely. So the losers there, Martin, were the Toyota getting overtaken by Molina, as you spotted, but also the Ferrari losing a position from the BMW in that first Tamburello chicane.
Lexus BMW battle there, and that is Pedro Umbrarescu getting back past Tony McIntosh. I think McIntosh's BMW was ahead of him. There is the race leader then, and Tara Zhao, the driver from Hong Kong, ahead of Tom Van Rompuy. I said, how's the conversion going from Corvette to Lexus? He said, I really like this car, it's a good car to drive.
Now this is a great fight already. The McLaren versus the Lexus. The Lexus did look like the slightly easier car, the battle behind those two as well with the BMW. The BMW's been quick here all weekend.
Tony McIntosh all over the back of that red and grey number 87 Lexus of Pedro Umbrarescu. His teammate Tom Van Rompuy looking for the lead. Van Rompuy, the first man to claim an LMGT3 pole in the new class 2 years ago. He's been a contender in Corvette, looking to try and get by the McLaren. We talked about this. It seemed in qualifying the Lexus got its tyres going really well, and it looks like it's doing so in race trim also. And it looks as though Antara Zhao now feels the McLaren underneath him a little better. Maybe he's got a bit more speed out of the Ravazzas, but Van Rompuy, we know the Lexus has got great top-end speed. He's trying to come through on the inside. No way through there.
So Van Rompuy now has seen the weakness in the car he's fighting. He's got better straight line speed down towards that, the best overtaking spot on the track, Tamburello chicane. So he has to focus on, does Rompuy, exiting Ravazza 2, that final corner, and especially into the final braking zone, Ravazza 1, to get the best launch onto the main straight. He was a little bit too far away that time around.
Little change there, that red and black car, that is the other Corvette, so Sally Olic jumping ahead of Francois Heriot in the 21 Ferrari.
But look at what this fight in LMGT3 at the front, right at the front, McLaren versus Lexus, is creating this huge bottleneck. All these cars behind are now starting to close up. Oh, there's a bit of a late lunge down the inside potentially there, didn't make anything of it. But this is what's going to happen with a defensive strategy going on by McLaren right at the front. You're going to bunch up the rest of the field behind.
And that's going to lead in a couple of laps' time, when the hypercars catch them, to real drama, because the entire GT3 pack is still together.
Yeah, and Tara's out with the lead, keeping himself right in the middle of the road at the start. The two Lexuses behind, and then it was like 3 wide behind them on the outside. We were with Ian James in the heart of racing. McLaren, Aston Martin, and through past him went the 88 car. That's one of our 2 Fords.
And that's what it looked like from on board, the 88, right over the curb on the left-hand side. Left enough room through the right-hander. Really well played there.
I'll correct myself, it was 77 in fact. Let's give him a heads up. New to the championship, Eric Powell. Again, riding in 3rd place on that shot with Pedro Umbrarescu, the Romanian driver, chasing his teammate, his new teammate, Tom Van Rompuy. The Belgian really enjoying this Lexus early on.
This is where you can win or lose positions.
There's one big loser in that, somewhere in that melee. Loic de Valle's lost a couple of places. He's down from what was 4th position to 6th. He's been passed by both Will Stevens and Ferdy Hadberg.
Yeah, Will Stevens getting by. So traffic is not always your friend, and for the rookies particularly, the first time Hypercars get to them. Well, there's the Peugeot. Was not traffic induced. No, Will Stevens maybe put the 94 car offline, and Ferdy Habsburg is never one to look a gift horse in the mouth. He went by as well.
Will was already gone, so that whatever the problem was for the Peugeot, it had already happened for the Caddy. It was then the Alpine going by him again.
I mean, even as a commentator, your eyes have to be everywhere, watching the Hypercar overtaking each GT3 car, and whether the GT3 is losing a position because of that, and if the Hypercar is losing position as well. And there's this massive high-speed game of chess going on as the cars move around in all directions, trying to weave their way through.
The Aston Martin of Harry Tincknell under real pressure from the BMW, and this again is the other BMW, 15 on the 83 car, Phil Hansen. Hansen getting shouldered out of the way, but he's got the inside line there, and the second of the BMW, second of the Alpine is 36. Is behind Kevin Magnussen. So if Magnussen gets hung up here, the Alpine is coming through as well. You can see it in his rearview mirror, doesn't find the hole.
That was a 100% full risk move by Kevin Magnussen there in the Villeneuve chicane. I don't know how he kept that car under control and not hit the back of the Ferrari, but through the Tamburello chicane was brilliant stuff between Hansen and Magnussen.
And he just rode on board with Tincknell. He's got Bamba right up his exhaust pipe as well. full risk by Kevin Magnussen? You were expecting something less?
I suppose not. I suppose, yeah. First race of the season, I should have reminded myself that's what to be expected.
Well, here is that move again around the outside.
Well, that was great. You know, he should have been entitled to a full car's width there in Hansen's defence, and so in defensive move, and he shoved it through the outside regardless. Here's a great look back at it. So yeah, he was entitled that full car's width. Tried to get through, but he had his teammate in front of him. Hansen did very well to hang on in there around the outside of turn 3. So there is the Genesis number 19 in the pits.
Danny Honkadea and the trolleys are going underneath. Anything other than fuel and tyres automatically back in the garage. They're expecting there are going to be problems. This is a test car. It's never raced. This is its first ever outing. Of course there are going to be problems. New chassis, new aero package, new power unit based on essentially 2 Hyundai Rally 4-cylinders.
Oh, collector. Oh, there's contact maybe there.
Yeah, that's Yasser Shaheen facing the wrong way. He was in 11th place.
Now, what has sent those guys? Oh, maybe a car trying to go around the outside of the Tamburello chicane, but yeah, we'll have to have a replay of that one, see what
our
happens.
lead quartet now being caught by Stefano Gattuso, and he just outbraked himself.
And then he hit the 33. There was a brush with the 33 as the Corvette tried to avoid him. The Mustang going through the car trap in avoidance of that spin.
I think he might have missed the Corvette, actually. Let's see. This is on board. I don't get a great view from there either. It sort of looked like he might just have missed the Corvette as I think he spun it in avoidance of the Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay, green Golf 11, target 1. Green Golf 11, target 1. Let's use the energy to get the tires off.
Okay,
Use what you actually want. Do you want me to pass? Are the pressures too low? Just tell me.
Yeah, work on the pressure. We want to work on the pressure.
All right, so they're adjusting perhaps the regen on the car and something maybe in the brake balance as well to try and get tyre temperatures up to give him more grip. Yeah.
It sounded to me like they were running a more aggressive engine strategy fuel-wise. I think the problem for Bamber as well, similar to Toyota's, he doesn't have the straight line speed, but the Valkyrie does, and he looks down the inside, just had a sniff there on the Alpine.
Couldn't get through, but he had a really good look there. Maybe he saw that there was something in the way, another GT car, and it wasn't on. The other Valkyrie coming through as well from behind.
That looked very busy behind that Valkyrie as well. Hypercar with wheels off on the grass, trying to get through that gaggle. I think that might have been the Genesis.
Yeah, the only remaining Genesis on track is Andre Lotter in car number 17, the silver machine. There he is at the back of it, in the thick of all that.
Has he possibly slightly overcooked it and is unable to defend as well as he might against what looks to me at the moment to be a rampant Tony McIntosh?
Well, it looks like Van Rompuy has settled down a little bit and the gap hasn't closed. And of course, all of these gaps get moved around as the leaders come through and separate the cars or compress the cars, hold some up, allow some free rein. And so far, Antarazao in that orange McLaren has had a pretty decent rub of it as the leaders have come by. But
little mistake there, little mistake by the Lexus. In turn 6, and that opened the opportunity for the BMW into turn 7. Toza, I saw that mistake unfold from the Lexus as he turned to the right, had a tiniest snap of oversteer, and that's how it unfolded into turn 7.
Fourth alongside as well, so this could be a change for third too, and it does indeed. Through goes the 88, so Tony McIntosh spotted the error that you did, and he acted upon it up the inside, got the traction out the corner. He claims second and taking advantage of the Lexus being out of position 2, up into third for the 88 Ford.
You are doing great with the energy saving. We'll get these 2 positions back at the pit stop. 10 laps to go from now, 10 laps.
Now then, in Hypercar and in LMGT3, there is a maximum energy allowance per car per lap. The way it works here, it seems, is that both Hypercar and LMGT3 fields are likely to stop after around 33 laps. So what they're talking about here at Lexus is they're trying to save time. That's the result, getting passed by the BMW.
That was neatly done by Tony. Almost forced him to the defensive move and had enough to get up the inside, traction out of the corner, good on the BMW. That's popular back in the garage, isn't it? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, very opportunistic move. He saw that mistake, as we all did, through the right-hander from the Lexus, and capitalised on it on the braking, but wasn't quite sure whether the Lexus was going to have it covered. That's what really should have been done. After a mistake like that, you should defend on the inside. And I think McIntosh couldn't believe his luck that the door opened, actually, after the Lexus losing momentum. So that's why it looked a little bit clumsy, a little bit late. It's because usually the car that's made the mistake like that, lost momentum, will just naturally cover the inside.
Into the pits comes the first of our regular corners. Mike Conway, the number 7 Toyota, after just 31 laps.
Just start saying, you've got to do something different. With the hypercars, at least, you've got to do something different with the fuel strategy compared to your competitors. You want to be able to run this car in free air, deliver the lap times this car is capable of, because right now, up until this point in the race, it hasn't been able to do that. So the Toyota lacking the speed in the straight line to overtake. The Peugeot has to do it virtually by running now in free air. So that's why you see this car in earlier than your competition.
That's what we're looking for here as well. Please be relaxed, look around the car as the fuel goes in. It's Kanto to get back to where they're used to having the operational excellence. That means the strategy, it means the work on pit lane, everything. That was what let them down a number of times last year.
Interesting to see the high visibility of their lollipop man, not red and white like so many other race suits, but lime or minty green, so he's really going to stand out for the crowd. Out comes Conway.
So from a pit stop, you lose a lap basically around this circuit, and there goes our race leader, Conway, a lap down for now.
Yeah, between Collado and Molina, James Collado completes lap number 32. Conway is just starting lap number 32 for his car. And that pit stop for him was a 1 minute 14 compared to a 1 minute 34 race lap time. Mercedes here, Martin Berry, big moment, all over the gravel. Francois Heriot goes by, so too does Blake McDonald, so too James Cottingham.
Yeah, just lost the rear before committing to the curve, and it doesn't like it in that compression in that corner of turn 12, the final part of Aqua Minerale. Now we look at this fight, now they're a little bit closer, thinks about going down the inside, did it once before, but not close enough on this particular lap. So the pressure's starting to build once again for our race leader at LMGT3.
And I thought good judgment for Alan Rizal, showed no sign of trying to close the door. He knew the BMW wasn't close enough, used the full racing line to get that drive up the hill to try and get him clear into the next braking zone.
Yeah, get a good look, by the way, at the little information panel. There you go, on the side of the car, revamped for this season, 2 for second place. You can also see the energy bar, how close are these cars to having to pit for a tank of fuel.
You say we have a problem with the fuel, we have a problem with the fuel, I don't know what.
Disaster for the 78 Lexus team, a problem with the wheel, I don't know what. And so that is Tom van Rompuy being wheeled back into the garage. Looked like either they were putting a new tyre on and it didn't fit, or a problem with fuel, okay. Well, it was still being wheeled back into the garage.
Oh, trouble here. This is the 21 car.
And I wonder if this is what was going on down at turn 17. 17 is the kink before the braking zone into Ravazza 1. So that's why when it popped up on our page that you spotted, Graham, it didn't make sense, because I wonder what's going on, whether it is this car that momentarily pulled off the track.
Well, that's at turn 9, because we've seen yellows again at turn 9. It's still Francois Heriot aboard that car. He had a good run in the pits. So what happened here? He's had a turn around.
Yep.
Did he get any help?
That was the first one. That was the first yellow flags. Because that's up the top of the hill. And
it's the other Lexus.
Did that not get fuel? It can't. Really? Disaster for Polish ASP. The Lexus of Petra Umbarescu at the side of the track, and it would appear.
Now, is that the same problem? Is that a car that perhaps got involved with the Ferrari?
So he's got the hazard warning lights on, yellow flags waving.
Well, something
we might go virtual safety car.
Well, Let's hear from their team radio if we can.
I'm stopped before the slow shift stop. Out of aqua minerale, started 3, I hear the boom, and then there was crazy vibration and the engine didn't speed up.
Okay, that does not sound like car-on-car contact.
20 seconds to VSC.
Well, I'm in front of the 78 Lexus Equinox ASP with Tom Ronron, who is still standing in the car, but they have a multitude of problems. Number one, the car is stuck in gear, so they cannot restart the car. Then there is a problem of fuel reading, so around there's a lot of confusion. The car is now up in the air, and it's not ready to restart.
Okay, Anthony Davidson, a transmission issue with one car, and then I heard the bang, and then the car wouldn't go.
Well, this is it. Listen.
Is this a transmission issue with this car as well?
He said, I saw the tree. Does that mean the rev counter? Is that what he's talking about? I saw the tree.
Possibly. Phil Hansen must not pass that blue Mustang before he crosses the start-finish line. And there you go, Will Stevens already going. The Mustang will not be able to maintain that pace, so Hansen has no chance of passing Stevens yet. We go back to green flag racing, an hour and 17 minutes into the 6 hours of Imola. It is Ferrari, Toyota, Ferrari and Cadillac, the lead group.
Well, rather than Hansen being the one attacking, he's now looking in the mirrors because the Toyota behind him is right behind and threatening down towards turn 2. Here we go.
There he is, the Toyota, car number 7, Mike Conway, always alacrity at the restart. And you saw it took them a moment or two to get by the Mustang, but they blew him away in the straight line once they were up to speed. René Rast comes by as well in the BMW, Ferdy Habsburg next up in the Alpine. And Hansen, rather than attacking, they should have told him, you're not going to get to that, you need to be aware of Conway. Antara's out in the orange McLaren, just ahead of the white and green BMW of McIntosh, but they got jumped by the Proton competition Mustang number 88 of Stefano Gattuso. That car got increasingly competitive last season. They're starting this year with a bang. The Mustang team really fighting hard as McIntosh again looks to go round, and he takes advantage of the Hypercar going past, and through he goes up to second.
That was a great move. He used the traffic to his advantage as well. That was a really important position to gain there for McIntosh because he has had more speed than O the entire time. O tries to get on the power early coming out of Tosa, hairpin, but I don't think he's going to be able to carry that on towards Pirotello. No, that is job done for McIntosh.
Yeah, also right in that fight, just behind there, Blake McDonald trying to get into terms with that. Meantime, we've got a 5-second stop-and-go penalty. We're going to the 23 Heart of Racing Aston Martin of Blake, of Great Newell. That's pit lane speed.
So on board with Antara Zhao, shares with Tom Fleming, who grabbed pole, and Marvin Kirchhoffer. And these guys familiar with each other, although not with this championship. And here's the pass. Antara's trying to defend against the BMW. Cadillac comes down the inside and stops dead and compromises the McLaren's line, under braking. BMW shoots down the gap on the inside.
Absolutely. So yeah, the BMW just basically followed the Cadillac through, thought, aha, you're going to create a gap on the inside and I'm going to fill that gap. He went to go left here already, but then could see the Hypercar coming, then went left as well. That was an absolutely brilliant move. Well calculated, well thought through.
Battle.
Here we go.
Stevens comes up the inside of Miguel Molina into, well done in the truck, into Tamburello. We were just looking for a potential pass in LMGT3, and it came here. Will Stevens using that new tyre advantage, Anthony.
Well, when Molina said it's not in straight line speed, well, the Cadillac certainly had a little bit more there, didn't it, before the braking zone. But when you came to the braking zone, look at, we talked about that grips with you everywhere. That's how much later he could brake. Brilliant move by Will Stevens. Obviously flattered by the fact he's on brand new tyres, but he had to get that move done, and get it done he has. That came at just the right time there for Will Stevens. What a move. This is the lead battle in GT3. Down the inside he goes. Not quite. He's done it once before into that Villeneuve chicane. Not this time around. Are you going to switch back on the inside or try and drive around the outside? A little dummy, is it? Or does he get it done? That's very close stuff. I think he might have the momentum going up the hill here. Not quite.
Just able to open the steering and keep the throttle buried enough to hold off Tony McIntosh. But again, like when McIntosh was challenging the McLaren of Antares out for the lead, he is all over the back of that Ford Mustang.
What I was going to say, while we got hopefully a little bit of a moment here with no overtaking, is that the Alpine, who's also on fresh tyres, now knows that Stevens overtook the Ferrari. What's going to happen here into the top chicane? Is it another look? It's more difficult to get it done into here, but he's going for it.
He's almost bump drafting him into the chicane. Does he get through? Yes. Is it a block pass? No. There's just enough room for Gattuso in the blue and white Ford Mustang to come back through, and almost an overlap. Can he get the door shut? He can't. But he's going to have the inside line at the bottom of the hill. Too late. The BMW has the advantage, carries the momentum into Rivazza. This is World Championship class racing. Great stuff by both drivers.
That all started, I think, with Stefano Gattuso just marginally wide 3 corners earlier, and Tony McIntosh set that up beautifully. The bad news for the rest is Tony's quite new at this, and this has been a stellar drive to the lead of the race.
I think Gattuso, he should have braked a bit later into Rivazza 1. You were right, Martin, he had the inside line, and I think he'd be kicking himself for that one, not just being a bit braver on the brakes, being a bit deeper. And this was the run up the hill from Acqua Minerale. McIntosh gets, oh, look at that for a little love tap.
I told you, bump drafting him up the hill, fantastic stuff. So tight here. I mean, Anthony, you know what it's like to drive those corners. That is properly hang-on stuff.
I was very surprised that the move got done. Yes, he had the racing line on the braking there, did McIntosh on the outside, but in reality, it shouldn't have been possible. So, yeah, I was surprised it actually happened, but yeah, it was an effective pass nonetheless.
Oh, is that the 54 Ferrari? Yes, it is. So 54 car.
Just didn't see him.
Which has got Francesco Castellacci at the wheel, having taken over from Thomas Floor, who started it.
Which means that Thomas is going to have to get back in the car at some point.
Correct. The other stopper, by the way, we saw 21, who's just coming out. 27, Ian James stopped again at the first possible opportunity to hand the car over with a full tank of fuel and new tyres to another driver. And in fact, it's Zach Rubicon who's taken over the 27 car, and Simon Mann, who has taken over the 21. Now, Rio Hirakawa, one of the cars that stopped earlier on fuel, but Anthony Davidson has not got fresher tyres on, so they've... Oh!
Peugeot the gravel, 93.
Peugeot is off, and that could be a major drama now.
That's Nick Cassidy on an outlap.
Yeah, cold tyres, you can see how tentative he is over the curb. Oh, tank slapper over the curbs there in turn 3. Stuck in the gravel, tries to get out of it, but you hear the wheel spin. Oh dear, what a nightmare situation.
Can you try to put reverse, Nick? Try to put reverse? I don't know if you can try.
Saw Stoffel Van Dorn watching from the pit lane, from the garage, and yeah, Nick Cassidy, no answer on the radio.
The car is intact, but yeah, just completely beached in the gravel.
Okay, Nick, so we'll wait for the tractor to come and recover us.
Let's see as we go back to green.
He's on new tires behind, new tires.
Well,
speed for the safety car, full speed for the safety car.
It's a little immaterial whether Toyota is on new tyres or on tyres that are 100 laps old, because Will Stevens will have to pit at the end of this lap. I think that's basically just don't lose any more time than you have to, but he will want to make sure that he's not in a battle. But for the 51 Ferrari, now with Alessandro Pierguidi at the helm, they're in 3rd place. If Will Stevens is holding up Rio Hirakawa number 8 Toyota, then that's good news for him. Back at the restart, 9th place, the number 009 Aston Martin. Alex Riberas at the wheel now. He's looking for a way via BMW.
No, that's Cassidy just getting out of the way of the cars that are lapping him, Graham. So the Peugeot you saw just going slowly on the right-hand side of your screen, that was just Cassidy who's getting lapped by the cars, just peeling off and letting them go.
Yeah. So okay. Nick Cassidy now 2 laps down. battle for 7th place here in LMGT3. The black, red and yellow of the Mantide Benz car. In fact, this is 12th, 13th, 14th. Ricardo Pera in the Benz car behind the blue and yellow Mercedes, which is being driven by Matteo Cressoni. And behind him, the Proton Competition Ford of Sebastian Priaulx. The last time we had a Priaulx racing in the World Endurance Championship, it was Dad Andy racing in Ford's GT squad with Harry Ticknell, actually, among others. And now his son Seb is racing for Ford. So making his World Championship debut in the Proton Competition Ford. There he is towards the tail of that gaggle of LMGT3s. I've been reminded from the pit lane that, of course, as usual, my facts are not quite as factual as they are. Said Priaulx racing for Proton in GTE Am. Never be afraid to correct me, Shea Adam.
What's going on up here at Piratella?
Well, that is Sean Gallale dive bombing the 33 car. Johnny Edgar coming back underneath him in that chrome yellowy goldy car. And so, yeah, Gallale having a moment ahead, and then Edgar coming right back at him.
So Sean Gallale having lost 2 positions on that lap. We saw one of them go the way of the Mustang, and now another to a rampant Johnny Edgar.
Okay, so we are going to double this tire set. Just keep them under pressure. We are going to double this tire set, not triple.
Well, Toyota now know that 51 Ferrari is going to double the tyre set, not triple it. But at some stage you have to tell your drivers things and everybody can listen in because it's non-scrambled and in English.
If you're the lead car and you've just heard that, well, you just copy it. Because if you're the lead car and you feel like you're not quite as quick as the car behind you, you just have to maintain track position. It's as easy as that. So Ferrari have to think of something else, as you were saying before.
Hirakawa just holding that advantage. Ebbs and flows in traffic, as so often is the case. Alessandro Pierguidi trying his best to keep him honest.
Halfway, gentlemen. What does the term card say? Significantly more competitive down through the field in this part of last season. Board here with the Porsche, the 93 car.
Cassidy just couldn't get it slowed down, and he's not having much fun at the Tamburello chicane in this first. No, that's just the rear locking just as he turned in there.
And he is 16th at the moment. He is 2 laps behind everyone else in Hypercar, and the only other Hypercar behind him is Mathieu Jaminet.
In fact, it's the AMG is the meat in the Montai sandwich here. Through comes the Alpine, so safely.
I mean, there's the GT drivers, you're fighting each other, and you've got to be looking in the mirrors as well. Look at that, braking on the inside line, just to defend the position. That was brilliantly done, being pushed the entire way through the middle complex between Ravazza 1 and 2.
I get some afters from the second, the Porsches saw that happening. This is cracking stuff. They're going to come across the line 3 wide almost here. Ricky Pera with Matteo Cressoni.
I'm loving this.
Timo Boguslavski, who's going to come out of this? It's going to be Cressoni. And I think it might be a change between the 2 Porsches as well.
He's going to try and go around the outside here. No, he has to yield. He wasn't quite far enough alongside, but that was excellent. He's going to go for the momentum though on the exit of turn 4.
I think he's got the quicker car at the moment. I think he's got the pace to pass Boguslavski, but he needs to do it carefully.
He's looking to the inside, but his teammate's got that covered. He knew what the threat was there.
I'm not behind them, by the way. There's the Mustang is at both the Aston Martins, it is, and the other AMG. Side by side again, the 2 Porsches, with an Aston Martin looking to take advantage of any error there too.
He's trying to squeeze him right to the inside. He's finally got the move done around the outside, and now he's got to watch out for the Aston Martin that's coming through the inside as well. That's going to be a fight all the way down towards Akko Minerali, but he backs out of it, losing positions, hand over fist.
Great stuff there. Ricky Pera goes off in pursuit of Matteo Cressoni, and you'll be guaranteed with a lap, maybe 2. It'll be almost like Formula Deja Vu.
We don't have their tyre info for the GT cars, unfortunately, but I would imagine that's slightly, there's some kind of offset going on there. I'd
have thought Boguslavski looks like he had a minor disadvantage in that battle. Ricky Pera looking now to close down Matteo Cressoni. Zach Robichon is free of that battle as well. Looks like Boguslavski is somewhat the cork in the bottle here. He's got another trail behind him, headed by the second AMG, then the 77 Ford, then the second of the harder racing cars. The long-lapped 78 continues.
So we're expecting some pit stops coming up to. I know we've been under safety car conditions, that saves quite a bit of fuel, but the race leaders in Hypercar have done 30 laps now. Yep. So we know it's anywhere from 32 to 34 laps under normal circumstances, so should push it a bit more than that, but it is somewhere close as we are right now.
Here's a moment for the 36 car. Still Victor Martins aboard that car?
It is indeed. Let's have a look on board, see what happened. I don't think he was under threat from anyone behind. Just got on the marbles in between the two corners. And that's a rough old ride. Worse than it looks actually from the onboard. You really feel that under you. Now, back to this fight at the front. Head down towards Ravazza 1. Looks like Pierre Guidi's on the attack again. Nothing he can do just yet, but yes, he's looked like the faster car the whole way through this stint.
Yeah, it's again tiny margins, and in time he comes in. That will, as we said, from what was that 10-15 minutes ago, so looks like he'll have some sweet release for at least a lap.
Well, he was that 3% of energy down compared to Hirokawa. So is he going to try and go for some kind of undercut here? It's going to be close and depend a lot more on the traffic situation as well.
He's not going to be close enough, or is he? He won't be that close at pit exit, but with hotter tyres,
you never know.
We'll have more speed. Remember what happened to Nick Cassidy? How
it will be close. It will be close.
There he is.
Building up
it's the pit
speed.
straight between them. It is the pit straight between them, and coming with a head of steam. This is the chance for Alessandro Pierre Guidi.
It's funny, it's a long old pit lane doing 60 kilometers an hour. I think many of the maybe new viewers to the World Endurance Championship, yeah, it's 60 kilometers an hour, not 80 kilometers an hour like it is in Formula 1.
And being held up by a Ferrari GT3 car, so that's going to close the gap even further. Ryo Hirakawa has now got very good view of the flashing headlights of the 51 Ferrari of Alessandro Pierre Guidi, who'll be desperate to get by this car before they get to the chicane.
So he was held up by the Joubert Genesis, as Shea spotted down in pit lane.
Looking at the battle here for 7th place, rookie Théo Pourchaire, and down the inside, champing at the bit for the last 3 hours and 20 minutes rather, has been Robin Freins. He's been sitting impatiently in the BMW garage, now in the number 20 car, straight by the Peugeot at the first chance. So Freins up to 7th place, the Peugeot down to 8th. See Tom Gamble in the 007 Aston Martin. Like BMW, only 2 drivers in each of the Aston Martin Valkyries here.
And that was a genuine move as well in terms of tyre age, both on exactly the same or as close as you can get between these two. So I don't know if anything happened to Pourchaire at the top chicane, but that definitely allowed the BMW to get close, going down towards that braking zone into Ravazza 1. So great move.
Yeah, top 13 cars, by the way, still in the same minute on track here. 2 hours and 30 minutes to go, and it really is nip and tuck, and there is indeed Mr. Nip and Mr. Tuck.
Oh yeah, Pourchaire tried to come back at him, nearly did it, but did the right thing and just about managed to back out of it.
It's all right, there's trouble for the 93 car, that car.
Now, is there now something where he said, oh no, that's Nick Cassidy again, troubling the gravel traps. He's blotted his copybook, he's knocked coffee on it and spilt some ink on it as well. It's not been a great debut stint for Nick Cassidy.
As he stumbled away, he stood on the biscuits as well.
And it's all happened at this same corner, hasn't it? Just struggling to slow the car down under the brakes and turning it in. It's
difficult to believe there's not a problem that he's handling here, because Nick Cassidy is a driver of very high quality indeed.
Yeah.
And that's 3 at least that we've seen at the same point. That doesn't score World Championship points to the manufacturers.
This is how it happened. I was just in the straight line, so I wonder what happened out of Ravazza 2 then, because he hasn't been able to get that close the whole time. So something must have happened in through one of the Rabatzas. But yeah, like you said, Martin, now here comes the Aston Martin, and you're right, they did stop and change all 4 tyres to a set of softs in the last stop. So he will comfortably find his way past the car we're on board with now.
I got hit by the Mercedes. Look at the left rear pressure. Okay, copy.
Let's take a look here at the top of the picture. Oh, under braking. All right, well, we need to back that up a little bit further to see exactly what the gap was that Bourdais was going into. There was contact, he's saying, a left rear. Here we go.
Oh, so he overtakes down the inside. Oh, yeah.
He did.
Just wasn't seen by the looks of it. He was definitely more than alongside. So the move, by books, the move was on.
Yep. Well, there's Il Bamba in the 38 Cadillac garage. Dieter Gas with his head closest to the camera there. They're racing ahead. Johnny Edgar, Timo Fleming. Timo Fleming? Some words going on in my head. Tom Fleming, the lead battle in LMGT3. Oh, and again, Tom Fleming trying to get underneath Johnny Edgar. He can't go round either side, so it's over the top or underneath.
This is a great battle. I don't think I've seen a time in the last, 5-6 laps where that gap has been under over 4 tenths of a second.
Yeah, more than a car length.
Absolutely brilliant stuff from pair of them.
Silver graded drivers, both of them. They're not golds, they're not platinum, so these are young drivers progressing up the order to super silver drivers.
Just a quick update hearing from the Jota team. No problem with the tyre pressure that Seb was asking to take a look at. That strike from the AMG on the 38 car.
Oh, Fleming is so close now, he's almost alongside. He's going to have a go. Will the Alpine help him? He went the wrong way there, didn't he? Could have maybe tried to look through on the inside and follow the Alpine. Now he's got the BMW number 20 car coming through. They're going to make him go the long way round. Anthony, exactly as you were saying, the GT3 drivers here, they're defining what the racing line is available to the Hypercar.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost irrelevant to them when the Hypercars are around them. They are embroiled in this battle right now. 2 brilliant drivers, Johnny Edgar here versus Fleming, Fleming riding on board now, pole position yesterday, 2 stunning laps. And so he's got this McLaren back up into contention, really enjoying this fight.
Yeah, he was trusted with this stint of the race. They put the platinum driver Marvin Kirchhofer in earlier in the race.
The BMW Hypercar, and now he's going to be on the the racing line down towards. We've seen him overtaking him before.
Yes, but not from the outside.
Does he switch through on the inside and have a go on for the second braking zone? He's there.
Not quite enough room to get alongside Johnny Edgar. Edgar goes out very wide.
But he was given just enough space. Edgar gave him just enough space. The move is going to be done into the Tamburello chicane. He's got the inside, the line he wanted.
Tom Fleming's mum and dad will be leaping up and down watching this in Garage 59's garage, which isn't number 59. On the inside, Tom Fleming.
Done.
That is how it's done. It took him 5 or 6 corners, but he made the move work.
That was brilliantly set up and capitalised on the traffic. Look at this, he's trying to defend the Hypercar coming around the outside as well.
Of course he is. Of course he is. Get out of my way. I've got a battle to win.
Coming back at him, Johnny Edgar. Wouldn't have liked that very much, but no room through there. That's just going to give him the edge on the exit of the turn. Great stuff.
And there's the other Genesis coming through. One is silver, one is black. 17 is silver, 19 is not. So that's the black car. That's the way to remember it.
That was absolutely world-class racing with the GT drivers there.
The 2 moves of the race so far have been in LMGT3, and that's the second of them. Look at this.
So he had the racing line, couldn't make it work there, but switched the line, came back on the inside. Oh, we missed the critical part. This was the overtake, but the move was done way back at Rabatza 2. Or 1 where he crossed the line, and then that Rabatza 2, but this will be interesting, please stick with it. So he crosses the line and then just about gets his nose in, and it's given the opportunity. The door was left open.
There's a wiggle off the curb out of the first Regatta, wasn't there? And that was just the momentum he needed. Get the power in alongside for a long time.
He was very lucky that Edgar didn't turn in on him into the second Regatta.